皆様お待たせいたしました。それではただいまより専門家世界大会ワークショップ2を開始いたします。どうぞご着席くださいませ。モデレーターのスベン・ティム先生、キャム・スティーブンス先生、よろしくお願いいたします。Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience. Now we start World Assembly Workshop 2. Please have a seat. The moderators are Dr. Sven Tim and Dr. Cam Stevens. Dr. Tim and Dr. Stevens, it is your session. Please come up to the stage and please give them a round of applause.
Oh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to have so many people here. We did not know before how many will attend, but we are happy to have you here. A warm welcome from our side, and we are talking today about digitalization, harnessing digitalization. So we are talking about opportunities opened by digital solutions, by machinery, by software and things like this. But we are also talking about people, human-centric innovation, responsibility and AI ethics are a topic. We are talking about education and skills for the future, which are needed, collaboration across disciplines which had never cooperated before, data as a strategic asset, and we are also talking about sustainability and digitalization and how we can adapt and change things, so change management. We have a relatively complex program. We will have 2 hours here on the stage. We will start with 2 strategic presentations, complementary presentations of partners, and then we will head on to some demonstrations, and then we will have a panel. And after the panel, we want to include the voice of the audience, so your voice. And finally, in the last hour, we want to demonstrate technology. So we have our wonderful friends from Hong Kong. They had a line up on the left side and the first booth and the booth behind. We have colleagues from all over the world, from Canada, from Germany, and let's say multinational corporations as well. They are aligned here to the right, and in the booth behind, there will be a presentation of VR applications in different industries. So thank you very much. A warm welcome from our side for your attendance, and we hope we have an interesting morning.
皆さん、おはようございます。僕の名前はカメランです。どうぞよろしく。Welcome to the workshop 2. If we could bring up the slides. We have an interactive start. If you could take out your smartphone, scan the QR code, and if your QR code is not working, you can enter in your browser www.menti.com and enter the code. Roku, no, that's go, Roku, san, nana, Roku, nana, ni.
Yeah, okay.
Did you want to give some instruction?
I know, so the transition was okay.
It's okay? Okay. Once you have done that, I'm going to go to the next slide. The QR code will still be there. On your smartphone, you will see a world map. If you can pin on the map where you are from in the world, where you're coming from. I can't put myself on here, but I'm from Perth in Western Australia. Passに住んでいます。
Pass.
はい。
I have been there.
Oh, that's cool. There's a lot of Europe, North America.
Where are
Canada.
our South American friends?
Where's South America? Yeah.
Next time. Oh, すごいね。 Okay. Next question. We now have 3 questions to set the scene. The questions come from, they're on a scale, 1 to 5. Strongly disagree to strongly agree with the 3 questions, with the 3 statements. Is that, look?
Yep. 3つの質問。OK。
Now we're going to ask the same questions at the end to see if your perception has changed after our sessions.
But up to now, the hope for new opportunities is the runner.
I think we have a biased room of people that were interested in this session.
And even for our special branch, there are seen a lot of opportunities, obviously.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to transfer over. Thank you very much for that. We're going to come back into this Menti later. It'll be the same code, but we're going to start into the session. So I'll transfer over to the slides and away we go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's now our pleasure to have the first twin presentation, strategic presentation. It will be presented by Jens Juling. He's the chairman of the Special Commission for Prevention of the International Social Security Association, ISSA. Welcome, Jens.
So this is just forward, backward, and you can use this if you need to. Microphone is
Here? Can you hear me? No?
testing, 1, 2.
Okay.
Thank you.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm and humid morning. Very warm and humid. Welcome to this first working group. Before I start, I would like to forward the warm greetings of the management director of our BGDAM, Mr. Jörg Body, and he unfortunately cannot be here for personal reason and has asked me to take place of him. Myself, I was more than 30 years working for a prevention department and more than 18 years head of the prevention department. And so I was involved in the introduction of AI in our prevention department.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. One of the strongest factors that will affect public administration in the coming years is demographics. The baby boomer generation reached its peak in 1964, and the age-related outflow of skilled labor is already noticeable. By 2032, around 630 employees will leave our BG alone for age-related reasons, and it is already becoming apparent that even under favorable circumstances, a maximum of 50% of positions can be filled. The figures compiled by McKinsey and PwC you see here on this slide were collected at various times. They illustrate the coming dramatic development of the shortage of skilled labor in the public sector in Germany. The problem can be solved in 2 ways. First, acquire suitable personnel. This is becoming increasingly difficult as public administration is in fierce competition with each other for the best minds, but also with the industry. And second, optimize administrative processes. AI is, of course, also an option here. AI can be used to streamline processes and execute them more efficiently. Our completely new processes are also imaginable. AI solutions in prevention require customized development. On the one hand, This development must take into account the special requirements of the member companies. But on the other hand, it must also create tangible added value in the core processes. The question are, where do companies need quick and unbureaucratic support in occupational health and safety? Where can we offer clear added value? Which processes tie up resources that could be better utilized for individual preventative support? Our approach, we develop AI solutions that start exactly where people need support. Everything serves the goal of making prevention more efficient and effective. At our BGDM, we now have 5 productive AI applications. These cover relevant core processes in 4 central business areas: prevention, rehabilitation, recourse, and in the members and contributions department. In the following, I will take a closer look at the now tried and tested AI application that is used in our prevention department. What was our guiding principle for this AI application? A major issue in prevention work is the targeted and therefore most efficient use of limited personnel resources in the supervision of our member companies. This is because the labor inspectors sometimes have several thousand companies to look after. That's why we want to know which companies are potentially more at risk of accidents. That's why an important factor in the selection process is the potential risk of accidents. There is a wealth of information available on the occurrence and risks of accidents at work in the past. But what about the future risks of occupational accidents in the member companies? A risk-based selection for the supervision of companies would be an advantage here. AI now supports our labor inspectors. The AI results are made available to the labor inspectors via the specialized application. Here you can see one of these figures, what the inspector have for his work. The specialized application provides a wheels of company-related key factors. They include the AI forecast for the accident tendency. In addition to the forecast value, the relevant influencing factors are also shown. On the one hand, this creates transparency and traceability for the labor inspectors. At the same time, it provides impulses and points of reference for counseling discussions in the company. Some German accident insurers have developed AI solutions, albeit with varying degrees of stages. A cooperation platform of these 7 German accident insurers has now been founded with the aim of increasing efficiency. This AI cooperation platform is one of the focal points. This platform is primarily used at the technical level to make existing and jointly developed AI solutions available to all cooperation partners of these 7 institutions. This serves to exchange information about existing AI services and enables the collaborative development of new AI solutions. Finally, this is how we create added value together. Recommendation and conclusion: what has proved successful? Which approach is efficient? The next slide provides some practical tips on this. These recommendations are the result of many years of practical experience in the development of AI solutions. Start with a compact topic to quickly demonstrate added value through AI use. Involve specialist departments in projects. Create acceptance among users. Decision proposals must be presented in a transparent and comprehensible way. Raise awareness among users that these applications are only supporting systems. And the final decision lies with the user. The AI does not determine the course of action. And my last slide shows, in summary, what is to be achieved with AI in prevention, and to a large extent has already been achieved. AI in prevention. AI is a reliable partner, identifying risks, preventing accidents, promoting health. Reduce workload for people. Routing tasks are automated so that people can act specifically where the need for advice is greatest. Data-driven decisions. AI provides valuable insights from data. This allows AI applications to be developed that are customized and effective. And finally, more safety and health at work, less bureaucracy, digital and effective occupational safety. AI creates added value in safety and health at work. But now I will end with my presentation, and I will overgive to my colleague from the construction BG.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jens. Yeah, and the second part of this first set will be presented by Jacob Kort. He's head of digitalization at the Social Accident Insurance Institution for the construction industry in Germany. Jacob, the floor is yours.
So a very warm welcome from my side as well. And as I'm struggling with bringing the presentation to the screen, sorry, there's something wrong. Could you maybe, I think you mixed up the presentations. Which one's yours? Further. I think it's lost, isn't it? Further. I think it's lost, isn't it? Must be lost. Maybe at the end? Shouldn't be. No, it's not here.
And these ones are
Not
technology native.
Maybe you have it open.
Digital native.
No?
Whose USB is it on?
Okay, it's on the USB stick, but I haven't it here. So I tried with words.
Let's go. Who's our next presenter? Let's go to Accenture and then come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are changing the plan. We have to integrate the presentation I was supposed to show to you. So we are handling over to the next presenter while we try to fix the problem.
Sorry.
Rainer Binder.
I think the next is
I think you had a version where it was included here.
the next speaker. Can you give me the mic? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, now it works. Thank you. Yeah, due to technical problems, we are still in the process of change. The next presenter will be Rainer Binder. He's the global lead for social services at Accenture, this tiny little consultancy. And he will talk about what they have to present to help safety and health at work.
Just on?
Forward, backward. Yeah.
Entschuldigung.
It's there.
Okay, good. Good morning, everybody. My name is Rainer Binder from Accenture in Germany, and I'm responsible for the work Accenture is doing in the social security space all across the globe. Today, I want to give you a very short presentation about agentic AI and the use of agentic AI in the broader social security space. Let me start with a very quick introduction what agentic AI is, right? Agentic AI is the latest evolution of AI. While AI and generative AI, which you can see on the top, was very much based on trainings, on rules, right, that continue to develop. agentic AIs and the agents built leveraging agentic AI can act autonomously, and they can support humans in making better decisions. There are agentic agents in the social services space can be classified as you can see it here, right? We distinguish between input, so the information a social security organization receives from its customers, being it people, or being it in your case very often companies, right? The actual decision-making process, for example, the decision-making about a payment or something else, and then of course the output process. Agentic AI can support across the whole processes. We have categorized them in several groups. So for example, on the left side, on the top, you can see what we call a connector. A connector is an agent who actually connects with the clients of a social security agent. To pick another one, on the bottom left, you can see the translator. Again, it's an agent who helps to translate certain information. In the middle, we have examples for example, a forecaster, and we have seen from Mr. Yuling, and we'll hear it later as well from Mr. Kort, right? How forecasting, for example, is used at GISHW to actually prevent accidents. And then on the output side, again, we have things like interpreter and translators. If we move on to the next slide, building on what we just said, right? If we distinguish between the processes a social security organization has to execute, we can obviously distinguish between what we call the core processes, which is really at the heart of what a social security agent does. Then we always have a contact center, so the interface to the customer. And of course, we have back office processes, as in every organization. And as you can see it here, again, examples of how agentic AI can support these processes, right? Just to pick one example, if you look on transaction processing, which is obviously a huge and very important part of every social security organization, AI agents can help to analyze documents, right? And to help the inspectors or the staff to actually make better and faster decisions. Now, what is required to actually develop and use AI agents? You need a very strong, flexible, and scalable AI platform. And we will hear later from Benjamin Reiser from BG Phoenix, how BG Phoenix together with GISHW and the other BGs has actually built such an end-to-end platform over the past years that supports all kinds of AI solutions and can easily be scaled and expanded. But now, to bring it to life, I want to show you one use case of a large European social security organization who is considered to be probably the leader when it comes to the use of AI in social security. They have embarked on their journey to use AI already in 2017. In 2017, they started with simple RPA because there was nothing like an agentic AI or Gen AI in 2017. And they have then evolved their solutions into the AI, Gen AI, and nowadays agentic AI space. And here's just a snapshot of the numbers and the benefits that they have actually received by applying AI at scale. They currently run 65 AI solutions. And just to pick a few numbers, right? On the bottom left, you can see it here, right? Over the past year, they have saved 3.87 million hours, right? They have reduced the average processing time significantly to 3 minutes, which is almost like real-time processing for most of the claims and applications they've received. And Mr. Tim was also talking about sustainability in his opening remarks, right? There's a nice number here on the bottom in the middle, right? They have also saved many, many trees. I don't know how they have calculated it, but let's believe it that it's actually true. So let's jump into 2 or 3 use cases to actually give you an idea of what's behind it, right? One of the first use case I want to present to you is related to how to actually identify vulnerable citizens, right? What has been their challenge, right? As I said, it's a massive organization, right? You can see they receive 24 million citizen letters per year, right? And 22,000 white male dogs every day. So how to prioritize and how to make sure that you serve those people or companies that are most in need first. They had a huge challenge with that, and this is a very sad example from the newspapers. There was this guy, as you can see here, Stephen Smith, and now you also know about which country we talk. Stephen Smith was claiming for his employment support allowance, but he was supposed to be actually fit to work. And I think everybody can see that he's certainly not able to work. Now, unfortunately, it took the organization 6 weeks to actually assess his claim or his application. And within those 6 weeks, the poor guy died. And once the decision was made that he's actually allowed to receive employment support, he was died, and they had to use the money to actually pay for his funeral. And this was not the only example, right? So the organization, the Social Security organization, decided that they have to do something against it. And they have developed a AI-based solution to actually identify which claimants or which citizens are most in need so that they can actually prioritize them and handle them first. And how have they done it, right? They have used this AI solution to actually take out information from all the various documents they have, all the applications, all the calls they get, and all these things to actually come up with a recommendation who is most in need. Again, it's a recommendation for the, in that case, caseworker to make the decision. It is not the AI agent who makes the decision. This is always a very important point. I have 2 more small examples. The second one of where they use successfully AI-based solution is around tempered documents, right? Of course, as every social security organizations, they receive a lot of documents that actually aim to prove something. So, for example, aim to prove that somebody doesn't have enough money or that somebody doesn't receive an allowance or whatever. Nowadays, some people, unfortunately, obviously, do not behave compliant, and they try to change these documents, right? And it's obviously very difficult for human to actually figure out, has a document been tampered or not? So we have used and developed an AI-based solution that actually helps to figure out which documents have been tampered, so to actually reveal what a reality is, and thus help to avoid fraudulent or non-compliant behavior. Here you can see it. My third and final example is around how they use data and AI to actually prevent fraud and non-compliant behavior, right? It's often very, very difficult to identify whether there has been fraudulent behavior or not, because there are so many data from multiple data sources from within the organization, but also data sources from different organizations that you actually need to bring together, right? And then apply analytics and AI on top of it to actually figure out whether there could potentially be fraudulent behavior or not fraudulent behavior. So we have developed an AI solution that takes from all these documents those information that are relevant to actually make a decision and a recommendation whether there is fraudulent behavior or whether there's non-fraudulent behavior. And as you can see on the right side, it's not that difficult, and it doesn't take that long to develop such a solution. We developed it in only 12 weeks, so basically in 3 months, right? And as you can see on the top right, we have significantly reduced the time to actually gather those information to make that is needed to decide whether there has been fraudulent behavior or not. And the results of the solution are obviously very, very good. Now I want to make a final comment before I close. Fraud sounds negative, right? But we all know that many companies or people, they actually do not want to behave fraudulent, but they do behave non-compliant. And this is again where, for example, agentic AI can help a lot, right? So if I think about an example from my home country, the German Labor Agency, for example, right? They provide their services mainly in German. So many people who don't speak fluent German, right? They have challenges to understand certain things, right? Especially with a very formal language that governments have to use, and they misunderstand some things, and that might lead to non-compliant behavior, even though they want to behave compliant. Now, if you go back to the very first slide with the agentic AI, with the translator, and with all these other solutions, that can actually significantly help to increase compliant behavior. Thank you. And I hand over to Mr. Tim.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Binder. A lot of insight about what is possible. I think even just for the social security sector, it's quite a lot what can be reached, what opportunities are there. And I think it's now the high time to get on this path for all carriers of social security, not to lag behind. So the next trial for Jacob's presentation, it was lost in Nirvana, in the network, in the Wi-Fi. So it was already uploaded, but I hope we will manage it. Yeah, maybe I can, in the meantime, just introduce again to the ones who attended later. We will have 2 hours here on the stage, and from 12 to 1 p.m., we will have tech demonstrations. We will have on the right side a presentation of an AI-driven table saw system. We also have something about immersive learning, new approaches in learning, and we have our wonderful friends from Hong Kong presenting on the left side in the first booth and the booth behind what they have in place, what they are offering for improving health and safety with digital solutions. And the booth on the right side, the second one behind, it's about VR opportunities. So I think, Jacob, you're right. Okay.
Thank you very much, Tim, and I'm really sorry that you have to wait so long for this presentation. I'm happy that in life you always get a second chance, and in my presentation I would like to give you insights about the core principles of our AI strategy at BGBau. One of these core strategic principles is always to keep the human in the loop, so that the decision is based on human decisions and not on AI solutions. And as it seemed that my presentation had been kicked off by the Wi-Fi, you see how important this strategic principle is. And there are 2 other strategic principles I would like to present to you. And the most important strategic principle for us is that we always think about how AI could help our customers, how could AI help to prevent accidents and save lives and to prevent occupational diseases. And therefore, we thought at BGBau about not only executing projects and best practices on AI, but also to think about establishing platforms, either in terms of infrastructure or in terms of corporations or in terms of harnessing the potential of big tech platforms. And in my presentation, I will present you some examples about this. So our AI journey started with a project which had been funded by the German Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. The core idea of this project, of this platform, is to use AI to prevent accidents by predicting which companies or construction sites have a higher risk for accidents and occupational diseases than others. And for us, it had been important to develop a whole AI platform in just 9 months, which builds the core of our AI journey, because this platform, with the help of our IT service provider, which is represented by Benjamin Reiser here in Osaka, laid the foundation that we had been able to scale more AI solutions in a very short amount of time for our people, not only in the construction sector, but also in other industries. And to keep it simple, this chart demonstrates how this AI solution is built. You see in the first dimension, the data and AI platform. This is something where the magic is happening. Round about 10 million data points are analyzed, and the results of the AI model, the indications where you find higher risk of accidents and occupational diseases, are displayed in the second dimension for management level, for our CEO, for our head of prevention, for our department, and on a working list, so that each and every inspector in our organization gets each and every Monday a report which indicates where they should go, where they could really have an impact with their prevention services. And as mentioned before, this had been our first but not last solution. We built up another solution which is, in our point of view, revolutionizing inspectors' work and partnerships, because what had been really important for us, that this solution is based on the AI principles we have developed together with the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs and a lot of other social security organizations in Germany, and that this AI solution is not only used by BG Bau, but also by other partners in the cooperation we call 7 of 9, which had been introduced by Jens Jüling. We developed this solution together. The solution is simple. The inspectors can use this AI model to save time. So formerly they needed 30 minutes to document their inspection work. Now they need only 5 minutes, a lot of time, which is saved, and they could be put into prevention services and context to humans on the construction sites. And what had been really important for us, that we proved that we are able with our AI platform to develop AI solutions with other partners, not only in Germany, but also with other partners in other parts of the world. Another example, which is really important for us, I called it TikTok for good in this presentation, is that we are cooperating with TikTok. So 2 years ago, we started a journey to scale the potential of big tech solutions like TikTok. It sounds maybe a little bit strange that people from Germany are telling you how to use social media to prevent accidents, but it really had been a booster. We started 2 years ago. We work with this platform. We develop TikTok content by ourselves. We work together with influencers, and there are millions of clicks. And there is a big communication between us and colleagues in the construction sector, because what made it so successful is that we are present in the daily life of our customers. It's not complicated, it's not talking about rules, but being present in the daily life of constructing workers. And they benefit from this. And as you can see here, we totally adapted to the visual language used in TikTok, and this made it so successful, so that they don't think they are talking to an organization like ours, but to people in whom they trust. There are 1 or 2 influencers now from DGUV because they are very famous, and this really helps us to prevent accidents and occupational diseases. And as I only have a few minutes in my presentation, I would like to end with a vision of a global network for AI in social protection, because we believe that our core principle of building platforms also works with international partners. 2 years, we started to build up a strategic dialogue with the Ministry of Labor, Health and Welfare here in Tokyo. This year, we started a cooperation with DataPrev in Brasilia, and we believe that we could build up AI solutions for social protections together. On the one side, solutions for our customers, and on the other side, something like an AI app store for social protection for institutions like ours. And the last 2 charts are about this vision. The AI store is really simple, because we believe that solutions like we've built, like I showed to you, solutions which have been built in other countries, could be developed in an infrastructure which is scalable, which makes it easy that our AI solution could be used from partner countries in Japan, in Saudi Arabia, in Australia, or in other countries. And this would be a huge advantage for our organization as well, because we could adapt solutions which are working in other countries, which saves a lot of time, money, and boosts prevention services. And the other perspective is from the customer side. We built up something like a prototype, which makes it possible to share all the wisdom about protect yourself from the negative influence of sun in a business ChatGPT environment. And you can call it ChatGPT for prevention, which makes it once again very easily for our customers to get the content of our organization. They can ask this type of ChatGPT for prevention, how they can protect themselves from the influence of sun on the construction side, in chemical industries and in other industries. And based on the principles of AI, it could work in every country, in Australia, in Japan, in Germany, and we could work together on this solution. And as mentioned before, we would be very happy to get in contact with you to maybe build up partnerships like this with you together. And you will see more about our solutions in the next presentation by our CEO of our IT service provider. But now I hand over to Tim. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jacob. So, jetzt kommt Benjamin. Yeah. It's now my pleasure to announce Mr. Benjamin Reiser of BG Phoenix, which is a let's say, IT service provider of several social accident insurance institutions in Germany. So, Benjamin, the floor is yours.
USB. No. Right.
So, very good morning from my side too. Thanks a lot for being able to show you and to prolong to introducing you, give you a brief overview about the solutions we are working on. And while we are uploading the presentations, the third one? This one?
Das ist nicht das aktuelle Programm.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Benjamin Reiser. I'm the CEO of BG Phoenix, which is a full-service IT provider for our customers and shareholders. And the main shareholder is DGUV, BG Construction in Germany. And we also have 2 other shareholders, and a 4th is about to come, a shareholder. And we also have our partners of the 7 of 9 Corporation, colleague Jens also already told you about, which is the BG ETEM and others. And this is it, yeah, right. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right. So, a second.
Next one.
Yeah. So I'd like to show you and showcase you together with my colleague from Accenture, who you already know, Rainer, the some of the solutions you already knew and got present by Jacob. And the thing is how they play together. If you, we are accompanying an inspector through his work day, and you can see how all these solutions work together, and give you a brief overview about these solutions we are working on. I already told you who we are. So this is Big Phoenix, and we are the IT service provider, as I told you. We are part of the German statutory accident insurance and part of the German social security thereby. Yeah, so you can see we have about 2 million companies insured, which is quite a lot, and about 30 million workers been insured within our partners. And we also still have a lot of accidents per year, so about 480,000. So the mission zero is far away, and we are working hard to reach this, because, as you all know, behind all these accidents are personal tragedies, and it's very important to improve this. So what we are doing is actually we are following and taking two approaches. So the one goes outside, as we have already seen, and we are about to go through the different solutions through a working day of an inspector. So there's the aim, that we are enhancing the effectiveness of our inspectors so that the impact of our inspection is maximized. And we equip them with innovative AI solutions and tools and assistance, so all to make the impact much higher, to support them. So it's the mission zero, about zero working accidents on the one hand side. And the other side goes inside, the case working inside the clerical work, because the colleague Jens also already told, and it's the same thing we are also infected, it's a demographic change. So we must get sure that our administrations are still working if the amount of labor work is going down. And so it's digital first over the end-to-end processes to counteract the demographic development. And so our aim is here to highly automate the case working process and make it less personal intense. So, but both approaches, as you can see in the middle, are working either partnerships, as we already told you, so the 7 of 9 cooperation and so on. So we are working in these partnerships on the one hand side, and on the other side, we're taking technologically approved or approaches such as microservice architectures to make it highly compatible to each other, the solutions we are working on the first side, and also the AI platform we would like to show you later on, which is targeted to get very fast and very convenient AI products. So apart from the Vision Zero, that is, of course, clearly in the goals of our statutory accident insurance, there are more influences in our implementations. The demographic effects, as I already told you, and the increased demand of digitalization. So it's not only going sideways, so it's going a huge demand of digitalization. So we need to get new answers and new solutions on the road, actually. So that also gives you all the buzzwords that we see here, and every presentation has to contain, like the Gen IA platform, the UX UI, cloud, portal, XR, and so on. And our aim is to make this into products, making into real life and working, so that we are implementing this in normal lives of our inspectors and our case workers on the other side. So have a look at our main shareholder, the BG Bau, and you can see we have still a lot of accidents. So construction sites are dangerous places after all, and you can see in 2023, which is almost the same numbers in 2024. So we have 76 fatalities on German construction sites, and we have 600,000 companies to visit each year, but only 500 inspectors. So we have to enhance their productivity, their impact, and this is what we are working on, and this is what we are showcasing you now. And the thing is that we are showing you this around the whole life cycle of an inspection. So it's either to plan the inspection and to get to the right places, to the right companies, as we've seen before. And the second one, after the inspection, is to documentate and to do the deficit reports and what's causing to this also. So, and this is what I like to hand over to Rainer to show you the products. And one more thing here, you can see the platform. You've already been told by Jacob, which is quite the heart or the core of our digitalization improvements. And you can see it's either, here is a technical picture, you can see it's organized in a Git, and it contributes all the partners into one common Git and in a common architecture. So it's very easy, accessible, and it's very compatible with our partners. So it's easy to use then. So I'd like to pass over to Rainer to show you the products you already know now.
Thank you, Benjamin. As Benjamin said, we now want to bring it to life by quickly walking you through a day in the life of an inspector and showing how AI actually supports it, right? We start in the morning, right? Once the inspector goes to his location, to his office, right? He will get a recommendation, as Mr. Kott has explained earlier. He will get a recommendation from the system which companies he should visit, or which companies he should inspect, because there's a higher likelihood of an accident to occur. The inspector, which is called Ben in our case, Ben is then going to the company to actually visit the company, right? And using the BESA solution, he captures all the relevant information on the company side, right? BESA, as explained, is an AI-based solution which uses technologies such as speech-to-text and so on, to OCR solution, to capture information from picture. And all this information is then automatically pulled together in what is called an inspection report. And all Ben has to do is to basically verify the inspection report that everything is correct. So that saves him on average about 25 minutes, as he used to use 30 minutes to do the inspection report prior to using BESA. Nowadays, on average, he only needs 5 minutes. Since Ben has detected some deficiencies on the company side or on the construction side, he actually recommends to the company to do a training. Now, nowadays, he's not going to send the company to a classroom training or something like that. He takes the Oculus, he has a Quest Oculus, he gives it to the company, right? There are multiple trainings, XR, extended reality-based trainings on it, right? And which allows the company to really easy go through these very short and very targeted trainings. And we will hear later on in the second part of this session from our colleagues here from BG Bau. You'll have a live demonstration of the training, right? So you can put a headset on and you can really go through the experience, the immersive experience, which we think is very compelling and which is really in line with the newest ways of learning in the industry. Once Ben has finished his inspection or his visit, he gets an information from the system that there has an accident been occurred close by, and he's supposed to actually take care about this accident. Now, instead of pulling together manually all the information that he needs to actually evaluate the accident, right? There's an AI-based solution which is called a 360-degree view, which basically pulls all the information from the various information sources and provides him at his fingertips, so that he is easily aware about what is actually the situation, what might have happened in the past and other things, which obviously makes it much easier for him to be prepared and to actually conduct the necessary inspection. The Gen AI assistant also enables the direct interaction via a chatbot, again making Ben's life much easier in case he has questions and or needs additional information. After successfully taking all the information from the accident site, Ben goes back to his office, and he still has a couple of questions related to things that he has experienced throughout the day. And in order to get immediate answers to these questions, he is using a solution which is called UV-GBT, Accident Prevention GBT, if you want to translate it, right? So he can easily ask these questions, right, and gets immediate responses from the ChatGPT-based solution. And as explained by Benjamin, this is obviously not a completely publicly available ChatGPT solution. That would be way too risky, right? In the area of social security, it of course adheres to all the security and data protection and all the other standards that are in place. So as you can see, Ben is supported throughout the whole day by multiple AI-based solutions, making his life much easier, and at the end of the day, helping to avoid accidents and to save lives.
You will do the changes and I will announce.
With that, I'm going to hand back to Benjamin.
Thank you, Rainer. So you can see, so an inspector uses and get used to all these different AI solutions, but they are played together in an ecosystem. And that leads me to the one more thing, as Chief Jobs used to say. So as you can see, we are a lot of partners, and we have the difficulty that we have different core systems, different technological bases. And our aim is, and that's what our strategy also says, technologically, we try to get together. So we are transforming our systems into a common microservice architecture, so step by step. That's what you can see on the upper part of the picture. So we have these core systems still. These are our core systems. And we will not be able to combine them or migrate them or whatever, because then we will pass out the digitalization after all. So the aim is that we transform slowly and step by step all our business into these microservice architectures, then highly advanced and enhanced by AI solutions. So always doing migration and digitalization at the same time. And also approach from the lower side to get together with operations, so that we are getting some synergy effects there also, of course. So this is what we'd like to say to you. It's not only about business, so this is the look behind the bonnet or beyond the bonnet. So you can see that we are working together also in these technologically matters. And that's for it now. I think that's all about it for this time. And I can highly recommend you to visit the section or the live demo right now in the booth next to it, because it's quite impressive to see that, what you've seen on slides, with this VR glasses and all the cases we've been working on. So thank you very much for this part. And back to you, Cam.
Yeah, and I want to add something which I forgot. We have two hours here on the stage, the joint program, and then we have a split up into a session A and a session B. The session B was already introduced as tech demonstrations, but we also have a forum dealing with the digital transformation for sustainable and responsible future. I think to think about what we are doing, what could be the outcome, the consequences, is essential before we start to implement things. And we will talk about smart construction future, so digital innovations in that sector. It will be on the stage in the third hour. And we will talk about digital tools for sustainable sectors. There are two examples here from the energy and the agricultural sector, and showing the transition, the change process which is taking place. And there will also be a legal perspective on this and to put this into a policy framework. So 2 sessions, starting from 12 to 1 p.m. So now it's my pleasure to invite Vincent Yang. Dr. Vincent Yang is from the OSH Council in Hong Kong and a very good friend, and he associated all his friends and colleagues from Hong Kong, so it's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swen Tim, for your kind introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vincent from the Occupational Safety and Health Council in Hong Kong. And our chairman, Dr. David Mon, is also here to support the event, because this time we have more than 100 participants coming from Hong Kong to support this expo here. So this morning, I would like to have some demonstrations. Very simple. I just demonstrate 2 technologies. And the first one is the OSH immersive training through the use of the cave. Because in Hong Kong, we have started to use the cave to promote the immersive training. And in our training center, we have 4 3D projectors and the screens, such that we can create an immersive experience. But from here, very difficult to set up the cave system. So that's why later, if you visit our booth, we will use the head-mount device to demonstrate. And from here, you will see that this is a scenario of using an elevated working platform. And why we use this case? Because last year, we had some accidents happen relating to the use of this mobile elevator working platform. And now you see that the trainee is very simple. He just uses a joystick, and then he rises up the platform. And his job is to replace the spotlight at the ceiling. And when he performing the job, because he has overstretched his body, and also one of the outriggers of the platform is missing. So that is why the platform start to overturn. And then the trainees can experience falling from height, and then he fell to the ground. So you may ask why we create this effect, because we want to let the trainee to experience the painful consequence of the unsafe behavior, such that when they go back to work, it can help to reduce their risk-taking behavior. I think this is very important because, as you know, that more than 80% of the accidents are due to the unsafe behavior. So that's why we use our immersive training through the cave or the head-mount device to increase the safety awareness of the trainees. And next, I would like to show you another technology. And this involves the use of the AI-powered motion tracking for the balance training. This is also very important because in Hong Kong, we also have provided some balance training for the elderly workers. Because according to our accident statistics, we see that elderly workers have a high risk of getting slip, trip, and fall. So that is why we have provided this AI-powered motion tracking, so as to make the learning more interesting and also more interactive. And from here, you will see that on the screen is very simple. On the left-hand side, you will see that there is a beautiful lady. She is a fitness trainer, and now she is demonstrating how to do the balance training exercise. And on the right-hand side is the participant. The setup is very simple. We can use a camera in the iPad, and then you can capture the image in the screen. And by using the AI-powered motion tracking engine, you can have a real-time comparison of the trainee's posture with the left-hand side, the trainer's posture. So when you have used the AI to do a real-time comparison, then you can do the analysis. If you are doing well, then the system will provide instant recognition so as to motivate you to continue to complete the exercise. But on the other hand, say for example, if you are not doing well, no problem, because at the end of the session, the system will provide you some recommendations on how you can improve the balance training. So from here, you will see that now some companies in Hong Kong start to use this AI power motion tracking to integrate into their wellness program for the employees. And this engine is very important because it can help you to check the progress of whether the employees has doing the exercise regularly and also help to improve the long-term wellness in the future. So this is very simple. That's to demonstrate to you two technologies. But later, also very important, because we have invited 4 suppliers here. They are the AI expert and also the robotics expert. So please stay here. Don't leave and enjoy the show very, very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Vincent. The last tech, or let's say demonstration of how tech could be used, will be presented by Thomas Böhmer. It's a good colleague from the Institute IFA of the German Social Accident Insurance. So we are colleagues working for the same organization. Thank you very much, Thomas, for your presentation.
Okay. Okay, yeah, now it works. Yeah, thank you, Sven. It's an honor for me to be here on stage. The IFA is an institute of the DGUV, and I will show you one slide about what we are doing. Our activities goes once a quarter with accident prevention and 3 quarters in the field of occupational diseases and work-related health. Our mission, you can see from 2023, we are dealing with research, advice, testing, a lot of chemical analysis and infrastructure things. So zero accidents and healthy work, that is our vision, and we conduct research to achieve this goal and develop practical solutions at the highest technical level. So what I like to present you today, it's a machine, maybe you know it, a sliding table saw, and we have a lot of serious accidents. So the BGHM, which is part of the German social insurance system, they have analyzed accidents, 200 from the range 2000 to 2010, and the conclusion was, yes, the machines are okay, but 90% of the injuries could be avoided if the protective hood they have on the machine has been used in the correct height. So there is a real problem. The people have to work, and yeah, it's some kind of misbehavior. And total numbers of accidents in 3 years have been 177. In the use of trade and industry, so not the public. The public is not included. So, the idea was from a German manufacturer of such machine to improve safety, and they said a conventional protective device is very difficult to apply. So their idea was to apply an AI-based system. So the function is very easy. There are 2 cameras mounted on the gallows above the work table, and they are looking for your hands. And what they are doing, if they detect a hand, AI-based, they calculate the speed, the direction of movement, and the acceleration. And if there is a critical behavior, so you're too near to the saw blade, then automatically a safe state is initiated, and that is not done by stopping the blade. It's lowered the table, and this works within 200 milliseconds. So I can show you a short video. It's amazing when you, and this is no fake. So, if you like to see it in live, please come to our booth. It's B295 at the other end of the hall. You can see it there in live demonstration. And we have a demonstrator over there in the session B. You also can look how the system works. And then I also can explain a little bit more what the IFA did in this case. Okay, that's it. So now my colleague will gives the second part of the talk. Please, Christoph.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us. My name is Christoph Schiefer. I'm coming from the unit Innovative Work Design, also from the Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. And I will introduce you a short tool also on, oh, where's the presentation? Can we start the presentation? Thank you. A tool for ergonomic risk assessment, and that is based on inertial sensors, and I will show you shortly why we are doing it. Musculoskeletal disorders are worldwide a big problem in the work market, and also in Germany. I have some figures from Germany from the past. They are the reason in 22% for work incapacity days by MSDs, and in the age group of over 55, there are also 35% of people that are missing at work, and there's a big economic impact caused by MSDs that are 20 billion euro in production loss and 35 billion in value creation that were lost due to MSDs. So what can we do to avoid this and do prevention on MSDs? One of our mission is to make people stay healthy at their job, and we want to do that by analyzing the risk factors for developing MSDs, doing assessment of work conditions, and to create awareness for healthy behavior at the workplace, and use for that our measuring system. It's the Koala system that is for ergonomic risk assessment, and we are developing it since decades and using several kinds of sensors doing objective risk assessment. And nowadays, inertial sensors that are commercially available are one of the most important part for this measuring system. And if you want to see how it works, please visit us. There's a biomechanical model showing the compression force in the lumbar spine, for example. You can see it here in the video, or in the parallel session I will demonstrate it. I'm currently wearing this sensor system so you can use it in real time, but also for long-term measurement of the whole working shift. And also you can see it at our booth, at booth number 295. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I will now announce it. Thank you very much, Christoph Schiefer. It's now high time for Camp to facilitate the panel, and I would like to invite the people. First of all, Jennifer Papantuono from BGETEM. She's an expert in OSH and majorly working internationally. The next one will be Mona Mustafa from Birmingham University. She is experienced in laws and politics. Then again, we will have to say hello to Mr. Binder, Rainer Binder of Accenture. He was already introduced. Then Jacob Court as well, from BG Bao, the head of digitalization. And then we are welcoming Vincent Young from the Hong Kong OSH Council. And last but not least, we are happy to have Terence Liu here from Veradice, an enterprise from Hong Kong. He needs the mic.
Yeah, okay. for those of you that were not here before, there is a QR code here coming up to join. If you were here before, it's the same QR code. If you're new, click the QR code, and there's a code at the top. Right at the top, you can see the code 55637672. That's the code to enter. If you haven't already, you can do that now, and you will be able to click a button, which will be this one here, to ask a question. And then when we go to the next slide, we'll have questions from the audience after we've finished the panel. But you can start asking them as we go. I'm just going to hide that QR code. You can also, just before we start, if you want to let us know where you're from, if you haven't done that already, so that we can, so it should be in your app. It should be coming up now. You can pin where you're from so that we can find out where you're from and do that. Now, I'm not facilitating the panel on my own because I don't have the questions. You're coming up to do that.
Yeah.
We need to get a seat. Here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Dozo.
Yes.
座ってください.
Oh, what is it?
座ってください means sit down. Is that right? Yeah, my year 8 Japanese is proving very helpful.
Yeah, my Japanese is more than weak. Except from arigato, I'm lost. I'm very sorry for this. I promise to improve, but up to now it was not yet possible. So we heard a lot this morning and saw a lot this morning already. We will have the opportunity to hear more in session A and session B, which will come after this plenary. But now we want to ask some experts about their thinking of what they might guess what should be done or whatever. So Jennifer, if we start with this, I think I will stand up. This is much easier. So I can see you all. This is more convenient for me. Jennifer, in which areas do you see great potential for the use of AI and today's occupational safety and health experts? Where do you see maybe limitations or paths we should not walk?
Thank you, Sven. I see myself as a Vision Zero ambassador, so I would like to answer this question by making a reference to Vision Zero. For those of you who are not familiar with the Vision Zero concept, it's the first global prevention strategy that was launched in 2017 by the International Social Security Association, ISSA. And the objective of this strategy is to eliminate serious and fatal occupational accidents as well as occupational diseases. And at the core of this strategy are 7 golden rules, which you can see here on the screen. And the idea is if companies and businesses are able to implement these 7 golden rules to a certain degree, they will be able to establish a culture of prevention. And what I did is I was taking a look at the 7 golden rules, and I was thinking about how can AI help us to implement the 7 golden rules. And if you look at the slides, there are just some examples, and I think at the tech demonstrations later on, we will see further examples. Just, well, if we take golden rule number 2, which is about identifying hazards, controlling risks, I think we have heard about the opportunities that predictive risk assessment will give us. Or, for instance, if we take a look at golden rule number 7, which is about involving the workforce, involving the people, then I would like to echo what also Rainer Binder from Accenture said, that with the use and with the help of AA language assistant, we can really overcome barriers. So language barriers for people that with a migration background that would usually do not participate in processes like NIMS reporting, and now thanks to this technology can take a part in it. So I think there are really many opportunities here for AI applications, but I think we are good if you look at it. I think rule number 2 to 7, there are a lot of applications, but I think where we are not that good, at least for the moment, is when we look at rule number 1, which is about taking leadership, because here we have a strong human factor. So leadership is about role model, acting like a role model. It's about attitude, it's about interpersonal communication, and it's also about emotional intelligence. And I think that's when I come back to the question where the weakness of AI is. But I think if we have a full picture, as we see, we can have from a golden rule number 2 to 7 AI help. So this will help us to free resources. We can invest in areas like leadership training, where AI may not help us. So I think this is really a positive statement that we can save resources with AI in some places and invest it in like leadership training to finally implement a culture of prevention.
Thank you, Jenny. Cam, there are already questions from the audience, so we can have a mix of what we intended to present here.
Okay. Based on what you just talked about there, Jenny, there's a question here about, let's see the question. Will we have enough qualified specialists in the future if simple tasks are eliminated by digitalisation? How will we manage effectively the skill set of people that are going to need to kind of come up through the ranks, learn from the start through simple tasks? If they're being eliminated, how are we going to manage that challenge in the future?
Well, I think we definitely need to think in different ways when it comes to qualification. But as I see it, something that we really need in future and continue to need is that people can think critically. So critical thinking is, I think, a key capability in the future. And I think we need to look at curricula and to adjust our qualification profiles. But I think in the end of the day, AI is here to assist us, and I think we definitely need people in the future that can assess if what we are seeing here and the outputs, if this is adequate or if it needs some adjustment. But I think here some qualification experts that maybe have another idea on that.
Yeah, Mona, do you have a guess on this?
Thank you very much. So, in order for us to upscale the technology, of course, we have to upskill our workers. And this is something we see, even the young generation, the Gen Zs, they are already nervous about graduating, and are there going to be enough jobs for them? Well, the good news is, according to the World Economic Forum, yes, of course, many jobs will become obsolete, but a lot of jobs will be created because of AI and the technology. So it's really about upskilling, reskilling, and understanding what skills these need to be. The challenge, of course, for universities and organizations, and teaching institutions is how do we prepare the future generation for jobs that don't even exist yet? Sometimes we don't even know what these jobs are going to be about. So it's a matter of being agile, being able to change, being able to understand what these skill sets are going to be for the future. So it's really all about keeping up to these trends. And let's not forget that a lot of the skills needed as well are not just the tech skills. They are what we call the soft skills as well, which will not go away. In fact, studies have shown that soft skills are going to be increasing in demand. So as I said, things like being able to adapt to change, being agile, and these sort of skills are going to be much, much needed as the technology comes. So that's my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jacob, you want to add something?
Yes, I would like to add one important thing in my point of view, because as organizations like ours, as organizations focused on social protection, it is really important that we train all our people how to work with AI, because like you say, AI is here to stay. And I think in the coming years, we will see more and more solutions which makes it possible for us to interact with AI agents or with a certain AI tool. So AI will be something like a companion to support our daily lives. And as Mr. Binder and Mr. Reiser showed, our inspectors, because they can benefit from the advantages of AI, and they save time, which could be put in other services, in other prevention services, in interhuman interaction. So important is that we train all our people to interact with AI solution, and that they learn to think about new AI solutions, because we need their thoughts to develop new AI solutions to make their daily life better. And it's on the one side getting used to it, and on the other side, I think it's a lot of about entrepreneurial skills, that they learn how to develop AI solutions by themselves or with our digital service departments.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. And Winston, you want to add
thank
something?
you. I want to add one more point, because using the technology is a very important trend. Just as, say, for example, many years ago, we worked with the computer, but now we work with the AI. And I can share with you an example. Now, for the safety inspection, we start to use the drones. Because in Hong Kong, you know that we have lots of the high-rise building. And when you ask the inspector, say, for example, because we use the scaffold, most important is to do the inspection on the critical part of the support of the scaffold. But if you ask the inspector every time to go there to do the inspection, they may have a risk of falling from height. So now we start to use the drones with the AI to help to do the video analytics. So that is very important, is that now for the inspectors, it will help to reduce the risk of falling from height, and also the drones with the AI analytics can help them to do the inspection. Then you will ask a question, will the inspector be replaced by AI? I'm sure it will not, because we see that certain human characteristics still cannot be replaced by AI. First of all, it is our creativity. And secondly, it's our feeling and the empathy, and also our ability to understand the pain point of the industry. Up to now, still cannot be replaced by the AI. So instead of worrying whether our job will be replaced by AI, but I'm sure a person who cannot use the latest technology or the generative AI may have a chance of being replaced. So we need to increase our skill set, how to learn the new technology, embrace the technology, and think more how to apply the technology in our prevention work. Thank you.
Just on that, there's a question that I've just pulled up in relation to, say, vision technologies on construction sites, where we're able to identify unsafe acts, unsafe behaviours, and unsafe systemic conditions. Do we focus at the moment, or are we risking focusing too much on individuals and not therefore looking at systems-based change that are supporting the reason why maybe workers might be taking that behaviour in the first place? What are the panel's thoughts on Are we taking are these tools providing an individual punitive approach, or is it more, are we using them for systemic benefit? Obviously, we can do both, but what are people's thoughts on that? I'm going to give another microphone to balance out the team as well. Now there's 2 mics. Who wants to take that one?
I can break the ice because we were discussing who would like to start to answer this question. I think the individual approach is core to our AI mission, and it is really important to break the barriers in organizations like ours that we can see a mass adoption of AI solutions. So I think it is important for an organization to start with the individual approach, but or the one who asked the question is totally right. We shouldn't forget about an holistic approach or a systematically approach. For example, I thought solutions you are demonstrating in your box where cameras or drones or other technological components are able to analyze whole construction sites so that they are aware of if the scaffold stays right or wrong, if there are other hazards on the construction site. And in this dimension, AI also helps us to analyze patterns on the construction sites or in other industries. These solutions are becoming more and more important. And it should be also part of our organization to cooperate with companies from the construction side and with tech companies to develop solutions which makes us able to get to the patterns. But I think both approaches are important, and maybe you would like to add something to it.
Thank you, Jacob. Yes, very important. This is a very good question because when using the digitization, then people will think that whether it is a humanity approach. And I can share with you an example because now we are doing the safety inspection and we use lots of the drones, as I mentioned, or some of the digitization tools. But very important is that, say, for example, when we use these tools to detect the unsafe condition or unsafe behavior. And then very important is that after we have the detection, and then we will hold a meeting, and then we will discuss with the worker why you have this unsafe behavior or why the condition is unsafe. This is very important because your further dialogue, you need to understand the reason behind. You're using the drones, you're using the digital tools, only can help you to identify the unsafe condition or unsafe act. But what is the reasons behind? Then now, say for example, in Hong Kong, we will have such dialogue because we want to illustrate our caring approach is important. And we not only talk with the worker, but we also talk with the foreman, the supervisor. And then we will discuss together how to rectify the situation, how to improve the safety condition of the workplace. So this dialogue, showing the caring approach, is also very important when we use the digitization. We also need to have a human approach on the setting a culture of prevention.
Sorry, go for it, Terence. I was going to bring you in on a next question, but you can answer. Go for it.
All right. I just want to supplement a bit on this question. I think this is a very good reminding questions to everyone that technology cannot solve everything, but we definitely need to think at system level. Obviously, doing digital technologies, doing AI doesn't stop you from doing your system thinking, doing your system design. So I think we definitely need both. Using the AI is more like the checking part. When you do quality control or safety control, you always need plan, do, check, act. I think whether or not using AI to detect the workers doesn't mean you have to blame the workers for their misconduct or misbehavior. It's more like a feedback loop to your systems, letting you know, is your system working well? And then you can come back and think, is it a worker's fault or is it a system fault? I think if we position technology this way, using it as a feedback loop to your system redesign or system thinking would be more beneficial. But I want to bring up another point that Right now, we are seeing a lot of AI detecting workers entering danger zones, entering different zones, or not wearing helmets, etc. I would throw back one question to the floor: is are we detecting the right things, or are we detecting using technologies to detect the really important things or safety issues using technology these days, or is there more we can do rather than fitting what the technologies can do today?
Nice one. I want to bring Mr. Rainer Binder into the mix. So a tech question for you, sir. How do we keep up with the pace of change? Lots of different AI models, lots of different technologies coming fast, coming quick. What do we do to keep up with the pace?
Yes, thank you for the question. Is it on?
Working.
Can you hear me?
It's working, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Before I answer this question, I probably want to take a step back here, right? We've been talking a lot about the possibilities of AI in the area of social security, and the possibilities are probably close to endless, right? But what organizations need to do as they embark on their journey to actually leverage AI, they need to put the right structure and the right governance model in place, because there are many things you can do, there are many things you can do wrong. And it's actually interesting. We are talking now for 1 hour and 37 minutes, and we have not heard the term responsible AI, which I think is super, super important. You need to apply AI in a responsible way. So you need to get the foundation right, which means you need to set up the right governance structure, right? You need to deal with the various data security and data protection rules and all these things, and you need to get them right. You need to develop a strategy, how you actually want to use AI, what you want to use it for, and what you don't want to use it for. And this is, frankly speaking, what we see many organizations are doing in the second step. And there's maybe nothing wrong about it, as long as you do it, but it has to be done. And now to answer your question, if you have this foundation in place, it will be much, much easier for you to actually apply evolving technologies. I was talking about agentic AI earlier today, which again is the latest and greatest in AI, right? If I now look on what Benjamin has presented, right? If you have all this foundation in place, if you have the platform, if you have the governance structure and all these things, then it's much easier to actually apply the latest evolvement of the technology on top of it. And as said, social security is a human business. And I strongly agree with the point that was made earlier. It will always remain a human business. So AI and technology is there to actually support, not to take away the humans, as maybe in some other industries.
So on the topic of responsible innovation and something quite different, we're at a World Expo. Who wants to take this question? Can AI adequately take cultural and religious specificities into account when applied globally for occupational safety and health? So maybe put it in another way, what are some of the cultural and religious type concerns that we might need to be aware of to ensure that we are responsible with our implementation of AI? I'm a pretty stereotypical, not probably the person to ask. So maybe someone from the panel that has a little bit more gender diversity and cultural diversity than me. I'm looking at you, Mona.
Very courageous. Thank you.
Well done, Mona.
I'll maybe think, I was thinking about the example of Dubai, where I live, the United Arab Emirates. So I visited a construction site to do a project. It was part of a research grant. And one of the first questions I asked the construction manager was, how many nationalities are working on this site? And to my surprise, well, not really surprising because I've been living there for some time, but the number was around 36 different nationalities are in this particular construction site, each speaking a completely different language, each having their own cultural understanding of what safety is. And so language is a very big issue for construction sectors and many other sectors that deal with diverse multilinguistic employees. And I've really seen this where they try to give the instructions, but when you have so many different nationalities and languages, the message can really be distorted. And while they really want to apply and adopt maybe the health and safety rules, it can be a hindrance. So I see AI helping in this sense, where using translations can really help get that message across without, the gray translation. So it's very clear. Employees can understand the instructions in their own language. So I think that could be something very useful for them. So thank you.
Oh, Jenny's got her hand up.
Yeah.
So I would like to add on something to this. My profession is a translation, so I was trained as a translator. And my profession was hit really hard in 2016 when neuronal machine translation hit the market. And I can tell you that 10 years later, there are still some, let's say, linguistic issues that if you, for instance, in Spanish, we just don't have just one Spanish. In Latin America, there's a huge variety of differences compared to Spanish that is used in Spain. And I can tell you that 10 years later, with now large language models entering also the translation market, there's still some language structures that these models are not capable of translating in the right way if you ask native speakers. So I think what you are also said, Mona, is that there are some influences, and there's such a variety of influences in cultural and also in linguistic terms that there would to be really specific small models to really catch these differences. So just speaking for the language perspective on that. So
Mr. Rainer Binder wants to take the mic. He's going to be here all week doing karaoke as well.
So translation is obviously super important. I want to add one additional aspect when it comes to culture and how to deal with different cultures. There are many AI solutions that actually directly interact with humans. And you can tailor the AI solutions to the respective culture so that they treat a person from a certain country in a different way than a person from another country, right? That makes it for people much more easy, and they feel much more comfortable to actually use that service. I think that's another super important aspect.
And one thing I would like to add is that we always should keep in mind that we are just at the beginning of the long AI journey we will see in the coming years. So I'm totally convinced that AI tools are able to break down cultural and language barriers. One example where we try to harness this potential is that we are building up a new generation of platforms and portals. So the platforms our customers are interacting with our and other organizations. We'll see an AI agent at the end of this year, which identifies not only which kind of worker, but also which language the worker is speaking. And the vision behind is that the AI tool translates the wisdom of our organization to our customers in their language, in their social habitat, etc., etc. And once again, I believe this is already the beginning, and we will see a lot of potential in the coming years. And you would like to add something?
Very quick, I also have an example because in Hong Kong, we have an IT company. They have developed a digital human. This is very important because in our construction sector, we have Nepalese workers. We also have workers coming from India and Pakistan. So we have a different people of different languages. So for this IT company, they work with the construction company to develop a digital human. And this digital human is very easy because they are using the generative AI system. So first of all, we developed the toolbox talk in Chinese. And then the AI system can learn, and then they can deliver the different languages. And this digital human, you can design with a beautiful lady, and then the workers are still very happy. And you can also speak different languages. So that is the trend of using the generative AI with the digital human to suit peoples of different culture.
Lovely. I have a question for Terence, given you're working at a technology company. What about carbon footprint, environmental cost? Have you been thinking or have any thoughts at all about the impact of particularly artificial intelligence technologies on the environment?
Yeah, definitely. So just a bit of background. We do digital twin solutions with generative AI. So we capture a lot of information into a platform. So actually, one part of our business is actually sustainability, doing ESG for construction side as well as for facility management. So ESG is definitely a huge topic in terms of safety, in terms of energy saving. What we believe is we need a centralized location, centralized platforms to store these information. And then you can create more and more use case and application around those areas. Say, for example, are you talking about chiller plant energy optimization? Are you talking about solar farm energy generation management area like these? But when we see across different regions, different industries, everyone needs centralized platforms to coordinate readings from different sensors, to manage different workflows, to enforce compliance, to improve waste reduction, etc. Pretty much the final solutions to a lot of these kind of digital technologies or digital solutions comes to a platform to centralize, to coordinate the usage of wastage, etc., to coordinate material exchange. I think that would be the direction to look into. But ESG is a very broad topics. There are so many use cases and applications for different regions and industries. So if you have any more specific use case that you want to discuss, you're welcome to talk to us after the panel.
Lovely. Now, last question before I hand back over to Sven to start closing us out before we move into the second part of our workshop. What about psychosocial risks, psychosocial hazards that are presented by AI? And not just AI, any new technology, automation, robotics, any kind of interface of humans and technology. What are some of the psychosocial risks that are introduced to our organisations, and how should we be identifying them and managing those? Who wants to take that absolute ripper of a question, which is very complex to answer? Crickets. I think this is probably...
There are no risks, obviously.
Well, it's a complex topic, isn't it? Who wants to kick off?
Yes, so maybe I try to deliver a first answer on it. Of course, there are some psychological risk when it comes to AI, because AI is very new for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid of that they could be replaced by AI or that they couldn't handle AI solutions. And therefore, it is very important, in my opinion, to communicate as an organization with the people, with the workforce in the organization, and also with the people in the construction sector. So we started our AI journey with a lot of communication sessions, with a lot of tools where we described why we try to harness the potential of AI. We also talked a lot about risks, and month after month, we saw the discussions coming more talking about potential than about risk. And I think if you approach an AI journey like this as an organization, you minimize the psychological risk that workers are afraid of using AI tools or being replaced by AI. But take this only as a first try as an answer for this question. I don't know if somebody would take over the mic.
Maybe at a very simple and obvious one that obviously goes beyond AI. It goes back to the whole use of technology and increased digitalization, right? The more and more we work digital, the more and more we work remote. There's a risk of a certain loss of social interaction between humans. And we have definitely seen and experienced this in many, many countries during the pandemic. And the consequences, both on a personal level as well as for the society, can be pretty severe. So I think we need to find the right balance also from that perspective.
Yeah, Mona?
I'm sure you've got something for us on this one.
I'll add something, yes. So it's important to first understand what AI technology we're talking about, because each can have different risks, and also to the individual who's using that technology. So for example, if we talk about the exoskeletal gear, we can see, for example, risks such as poor fit, especially for ladies, maybe trying to wear the equipment. I can tell you this from personal experience, because whenever I try to wear any PPE in any construction sector, nothing fits me. They have to, sort things out for me. So if we talk about this, skeletal equipment and things like that, it has to fit properly, because poor fit can, of course, hinder the user. Also, it can affect things like, dealing with emergency situations, because you can't run fast with this heavy technology. If we're talking, for example, about robotics, that can cause other stress and psychological factors as well. The techno stress. Our colleague mentioned remote working, for example. People tend to work for longer hours, sitting for too long. And I'm seeing this device here can be quite useful over there to protect us from any back injury and so on. So every technology has its own stress, and we have to, not talk about it in general, but really try to understand what's the technology and what are the particular risks that it's causing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Last question's coming up, but if you wanted to re-evaluate your scores from the start, for those of you that did do this, back on your application, you can just scan the QR code, which will come up again if you haven't logged on, but you can do that, and then there's a scale of 1 to 5, and whether our panel has changed your mind. But I'll now hand you back over to Sven for the last question and to close out.
Thank you very much for the panel. There were quite a lot of messages about leadership, about cultural aspects, about, let's say, business opportunities, about benefit for the society, about technical, let's say, obstacles, but also opportunities and tendencies. I'm worrying a little bit about, if I have a look at the audience, I do not want to offend someone personally, but I think the average age of this audience here is not too far away from my age, to say it in this way. Yeah? And AI is already in the world, everywhere, on the internet. The young ones are using it. What do we do in education and training of the young ones at the universities? The bachelor theses, master theses, doctoral theses are majorly at least supported by AI tools, not written purely like we did it 40 years ago or something like this. So also when it comes to allocate a grade and things like this, I think I talked to some professors who are teaching at universities. They said, for us now, it's absolutely essential to have oral exams. This sounds very remote, very backward stepping, but how would you test what the people are capable of, what they can do? If the master thesis was majorly written with AI, and a lot of other exams were passed by this. You have to have, for leading, for example, an organization, a company, a topic, being an academic, you have to be a real leader. That means that you have to have the capability of think about different ways, different solutions. I think we touched all this, but we still have to bring all these pictures together. The future will show it, and we have to think about the young ones, the upcoming professionals, the ones we want to draw into our businesses. Yeah, thank you very much for this first part of this workshop. We will now have, I think we are so good in time, we have a short break of 5-6 minutes, so then the session A will continue here on the stage with Sabine Herbst. She's a colleague from my organization, the German Social Accident Insurance, and she organized the things around with the 3 topics, with the speakers, which will be introduced by Sabine as well. And then we have additionally those tech demonstrations, the opportunity to walk around here within our workshop area, but also later on, all the tech demonstrations are available outside at the booths. So there are booths from the Hong Kong colleagues, there is a booth from IFA, our institute, there are booths from Accenture, so everything is in place. You can check, but now you have the chance to talk to the real experts in the coming minutes. And you can listen to the presentations and the thinking about how our technology changing universe will affect us in different aspects. Thank you very much, and see you later. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello again on the stage. We would like to start with our session A. Yes, dear colleagues and dear audience, we now seamlessly continue with our session A on this stage. We will talk about the digital transformation for a sustainable and responsible future as part of workshop 2. My name is Sabine Herbst. I'm from the German Social Accident Insurance, and I will be moderating this session. So it's a warm welcome from my side. At the beginning, I would like to give some remarks. This session is also in English, but if you have any question about the presentations or if you have any remarks, you can even speak in Japanese. We have a translator, and this is this nice lady, and she will translate your question in English. So let's get started. This session explores how digital transformation is shaping the future across sectors, systems, and societies. We have divided this session in 3 thematical blocks, and we have 5 experts, and they present their ideas, their practical solutions, their ideas about infrastructure strategies, and about governance frameworks that support a sustainable, efficient, and ethically guided digital era. And after each thematic blocks, you will have the opportunity and the chance to ask your questions. Okay, the first block presents 2 innovative approaches to digital transformation in the construction sector. I invite our first speaker. This is Mr. Terence Lui from Veritas Limited Hong Kong to a stage. You already know him, and he will present the platform Cosmos. This is hopefully I spell it right, a centralized construction management platform, also with an integrated generative AI-driven analysis. Louis, Please.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is Terence from Veradice Limited. So we do digital twin solutions to manage productivity, safety, quality control, etc. For the construction and facility management sector. Today, I would like to share some experience that we implement different solutions or implement different scenarios or examples we have done for some projects in Hong Kong. So first thing, what exactly is digital twin? Digital twin is digital replications on the reality in real time. So generally, a digital twin platform will essentially connect to different sensors, connect to different cameras, connect to different e-forms so that you can make sense of what is happening out there, as well as you can analyze them in a virtual environment. So this is one example that we do for Hong Kong government projects, that we use drones to capture what is happening out there. We use drones to do a scannings on at different times instance so that we know at what point we excavate which area, what are the interfaces, when do we backfill things. Everything is centralized in the platforms that you can track back in history at any time. And after that, you can start analyzing these meshes. Is it too steep? The slope is too steep that there's a risk for slope failure, or is it too high? And then other than that, you can also keep track on all your dump trucks in the digital platforms. How many trucks are there? Where have they been? Where do they do the dumping? Are they doing any speeding, etc.? Can be tracked in the platforms. And of course, we can also put wearables on our workers, where we can directly measure their body temperature, detect whether they fell down, how many workers are working on site, do they even enter danger zone, could be tracked instantly in the platforms. And of course, it's more popular to use cameras for detection these days. So installing cameras on site can let your people to have a look on all the site activity in real time. But at the same time, with the help of AI technologies, we can even do continuous monitoring and continuous compliance, detecting some unsafe act on site. So digital twin solutions is empowering construction site to monitor things in a more real-time manner. And we are seeing a trend installing more cameras as your eye on site so that you can literally see what is happening and detect what is happening on site in real time. Other than having traditional detection AI, we are also seeing another trend using generative AI to understand these video footage. It can describe what happened in the past. It can detect actions and understand the context of the video so that you can ask them what happened in the past, any unsafe act happened in the past, and they can literally compile a report for you telling you the construction sequence and all any high-risk activities on site. Generative AI can also be used for some knowledge management. Say, for example, in this case, you can detect workers entering a danger zone, identified, predefined. You can ask questions like, is there any similar accident happened in last 2 weeks? Is it a once-off event or is it a systematic fault? You can actually compute the amount of detections or errors to give you a trend on what happened in the past. And then you can start asking other questions like, what actions should I take if I'm new to construction site? What actions should I do when these things happen? So it can go through to all the documentations, method statements, or regulations. It literally tells you what you should do and make reference to which part the regulation it comes from. So we are seeing more and more application on generative AI to understand the context of the world, to understand the world, all the site activities in real time. So digital twin is a very good platform to contain all this information, not just sensor data, not just form information, but also spatial information and camera informations. So At Veridice, we're happy to work with you to explore different opportunities. How do you centralize information? How do you capture from multiple sources? How do you create new applications, particularly with generative AI? So if you're interested, we got a booth out there and right outside of center stage. So that's all my sharing for today, and thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you, Terence, for your fascinating presentation. I'm really impressed about the capabilities this platform already offers and about the important role AI plays today. So before coming to the Q&A, I would like to have a seat and I would like to ask Mona Mustafa to come on stage. Mona? Okay, I saw her. Maybe there's a misunderstanding? No? Mona is not here. She was here. Maybe, okay, she missed. Okay, when Terence, I think I will ask a question to you. You explained us a lot of interesting tools on a one day. That means AI offers big opportunities. And my question is also to you. We have on one side the big advantages and on one side, of the other side, we have tools, which means that you track all the person and that you receive a lot of private data. So what do you think? How can we bridge this gap to use the tools in a way that people don't lose their own competency?
Say, for example, the worker tracking. We're more interested in the there's a worker, an individual having a safety risk rather than who he is or where he have been. So in the platform, we simply attach a wearables, a smartwatch to the workers, but we don't we don't record who he is. So in that sense, we know how many people are on site. We know there are people in danger zone, but we don't know who. But if there's an alert, then you should definitely send someone on site to check on what is happening.
So thank you so much, Terence. Is there a question from the audience here for Terence? Has someone a question or remark?
Maybe I can put some
Terence?
notes. I think you can see a lot of technologies like this out there. There are technologies tracking people. There are CCTVs looking at different things. But I think we shouldn't forget on the management systems. We also discussed in the panel discussion. These tools are for checking. These tools are for monitoring. But it doesn't complete the whole cycle for safety management. What we value in Veridice is the compliance systems. These tools help us to complete the compliance, to do continuous monitoring, continuous measuring on the management system and enforce compliance. But without those parts, these two wouldn't drive your safety performance by a lot. And that would be a reminder, or at least my personal experience when implementing these kind of digital solutions.
Thank you so much, Terence. So when we now move to a new thematic blocks, maybe Mona will come later. And we move now, we talk about digital tools for sustainable sectors in agriculture and in energy, in transition. And I would like to ask Thomas, please help me. Thomas Schiepkowski on the stage. Thomas is Chief Executive Officer and from Top Farmers International from Poland. So, Thomas, the stage is yours. You have only, yes. Put forward.
This
yes.
one or this one?
This is forward, this one, this one.
This one, okay.
Just, yes. Oh. Yeah.
Zet it on. Is the previous one?
You put
We
it
have a
forward.
long.
Just a moment.
Mm.
Yeah. great. Yes, now. No. Yes, now. Mona.
And continue with this one now. Thank you, Sabine. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I have a pleasure to present to you a bit more information about agriculture on its own, what's going on there, on this big eco scheme and environment we are working with on a daily basis, and what is really happening today in agriculture in context of AI, how we deploy a different AI methodologies and technologies into agriculture and decision-making processes. It's really fascinating what is going on today in agriculture. We are through the two big revolutions in our sector. One is the biological revolution, which is all about knowing more about environment as such, about the soil, about the animals, about the plants, about biochemistry, and we are deploying all the science into our knowledge to understand more the environment we are working with and how we produce actually the food. And the other revolution which we are witnessing today is obviously the digital revolution and all what is related to data, data collection, data monitoring, data transformation, analysis, all enabling us to make better decisions and finally working with AI tools. So those parallel two revolutions are taking place today in agriculture. So I would like to, based on a few examples, to go through with you a few areas of agriculture production and therefore almost a different enterprises in agriculture. Agriculture is quite a complex management system because we are working with a live environment. We are making and forecasting many decisions in a given time because the environment is changing itself. Biology is life by its nature, so connecting with ecosystem and connecting with machinery, putting the human in the center and managing all these aspects is a big challenge. And that's how we are focused very closely what's going on in technologies and which technologies are the best to deploy in agriculture in the same time. So we start first with the management systems and working on how we establish the common language in which we communicate inside the company, between the management and with outside world in terms of our management and how we make the decisions. I will not be reading to you the part on your left side, but I will try and comment adding to that what you can see. So first of all is the timing and accuracy of the decision. It's centralization of all data, obviously, into this decision-making process. So we can, in the same time, manage the different aspects of a current operation through figures, through measurable means, through different parameters. And you have some examples on the right of the current decisions in the given time about application of fertilizers, about some logistics, about the weather conditions, which in lifetime we have to take into consideration whilst making a decision. In agriculture, it's a lot about forecasting, it's a lot about prediction, and therefore having this information is extremely important for us to cover the ground. In the same time, we have to keep our mind focused whilst being holistic in the approach to the whole management process. So that's the basic. The better decisions, smarter decisions, more precise decisions are giving us the better farming in general. So we move on to another examples. So this was all about your computer you sit in front of and a lot of data which you collect and then analyze. But in automation, you have your robotics now technologies which are taking over. Yesterday on EXPO, I saw the newest achievements here from a Japanese company, very famous one, operating agricultural machinery. We are already using some of them for a very different, for a different operations. We are talking about not only combining, and what you can imagine easily, logistics on the farm. We are talking about precision farming in terms of weeds selection, in terms of spraying and spreading, fertilizers. So all of it you can automate. So again, from point of general impact, you can gain all those benefits. But if you looked always at the impact on people, yes, safety on people, yes, environmental benefits, very clear. So in each of these examples, I wanted to show a different benefits which each of this technology brings together. So in the end of the day, in agriculture, we are also not only talking about health and safety as such, but also food safety. And the food safety is all about food quality, but also food volume. So those aspects are covered also through the technology and how technology can help us to address those issues. And we also, of course, are breeding in the primary agriculture. So on that example, we have an example of a dairy and how we today, actually, this is happening as we speak, how we monitor the health status of the dairy herd, an individual cow, head by head, as we say. So we monitor the health status in full, the different parameters. This all is to protect and be preventive enough in terms of any illnesses which may occur in the cow, so we can forecast them, can foresee them, and therefore prevent, which saves the money on antibiotics and all the pharmaceuticals we use, veterinary services for the dairy, save the time, save the yield, etc., etc. So again, thousands of data on individual animal, and we used to run the herds, one herd with 1,000 animals plus young stock. So you can imagine the amount of data and the way how we manage the healthy status of the dairy and productivity of the dairy at the same time. Another example is about the precision farming on the terrain, having in mind that we are farming on the different structured soils with a mosaic structure with different fertility, not only on the different weather conditions, but also different features of the soil itself. So we would detect very precisely of different areas of the particular fields, and then to enable us to apply the fertilizers and chemicals in a very precise and minimum amounts we need to manage the crop. So again, different benefits for people, environment, and also benefits from safety point of view. And not last but not least, altogether is also helped by newly developed the digital farm tools which are practically advising the farmers on daily basis. They are keeping the harmonogram, they are keeping the diary of different events forecasted and to be done today on different aspects of the farm, different operations. And again, we have a different benefits from different point of view, human, environment, etc., business as such. So I could go on and on the whole day about how AI is used today in agriculture, how fascinating it is, and how complex it is. But in the end of the day, it helps efficiency, it's increased the awareness about the environment, and helps the farmer to work in the whole ecosystem, connecting to all this data for the better decision-making processes. And obviously, in the end, also helps for health and safety and food safety, which I've mentioned earlier. So with those few examples, I wanted to get you interested what is going on today in agriculture within those 5 minutes of the speech. So thank you for your attendance and listening to me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Thomas, for your interesting presentation. I'm really impressed how effective and intense AI is already used for farm management. It has nothing to do with the farmer, yes, digging the field with the cow or something. It's totally different and a digital world. So thank you, Thomas, at first. Please have a seat. I will now happy to announce our next speaker. This is Michael, or German Michael Teigeler. He's director of the German Commission for Electrical, Electronic and Information Technologies. The abbreviation is DKE in Germany. Michael, floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, difficult to pronounce DKE, but I will later on explain what is behind that abbreviation. So it's a great pleasure to me to speak today and to give you, let's say, a short vision about electrotechnology and digitalization within the next years. What can we expect in the sector of electrification and digitalization? So before I dive into my topic, the question you might ask yourself is, why should this guy give us a vision of electrotechnology and digitalization here in this forum? Where do I get my expertise from, you might ask? And that's a good question. Where do I get my expertise from? Perhaps we can just start the presentation. Oops. Yes, okay. So today we are talking about secure data infrastructure in the all-electric society. What does it finally mean? But before I dive into my presentation, I would like to introduce our organization in Germany. So where do we get our expertise from? We are, in the first side, we are, of course, a standardization organization. But this is not enough to explain. So we are a network of more than 10,000 experts in Germany, which are dealing with electrotechnology and information technology. So we are developing standards in Germany, but we are not developing national standards, we are developing international standards. So we are members in the IEC, the International Electrotechnical Commission, and at the European level at the CENELEC, standardization organization in Europe. So this is our expertise. We are dealing, I already said, with about 10,000 experts in Germany. We are developing 400 standards each year. And we have at least roughly 2,000 national meetings to develop standards. So this is our expertise. And what are we talking about when we look at the electrotechnical sector? Which are the challenges lying ahead of us within the next years? So you can see there is an ongoing transformation in the energy sector. And I think Germany and Japan, we are sharing some of the challenges in common. And this is really to integrate more and more renewable energies into our network. That means we have photovoltaics energy production, we have wind turbines, and all this, let's say, renewable energy has to be integrated into an existing network. And at the same time, we have the climate challenges lying ahead of us. So the global warming. And we are convinced that if we electrify all our lives, all around us, and integrate more and more renewable energies into the system, we can fight this global warming because we can reduce the CO2 emission drastically with those, let's say, renewable energies we have at our hand. And the costs to produce these renewable energies are decreasing permanently over the last 10 years. So we believe this will be the future renewable energy integration into the system. But this is only one challenge. We have another challenge lying ahead of us. And this is the digitalization challenge. And we are convinced that everything that becomes electrical will become digital as well. So we can see a whole electrification of our world. Let's imagine, for example, we have combustion engines, the car industry, electric vehicles we have today. Everything is transformed into electrotechnology and into digital technology as well. And to ensure that the different applications work together and that each of these items are operating safely together, we of course need standards, safety standards and compatibility standards. This is really crucial to us because in our already complex world, we need those standards so that those things, let's say, seamlessly work together and function together in a safe way. Yeah, and we have, of course, reliable tools to ensure compatibility. And now we come to the different sectors. And I would like to show you what we have currently today. We have different sectors which are, let's say, standing beside each other, which are not really connected. And when I say connected, I mean connected on the data level, because we have the different sectors like power generation, energy storage, building and homes, mobility, and industry. So those sectors are currently not working seamlessly together. They are already connected with the energy network, but this is not rocket science, so to speak. So from the energy level, those sectors are already connected with each other. But what is still missing and what we can expect in the future is that those different, let's say, sectors are connected with a data layer, with a digital layer. And this is what we can see in the future. We have different, let's say, data areas currently and different data rooms where those sectors operate. We have separate data rooms for power generation, for building and homes, for energy storage, but they are not yet connected. But very soon we can see that those data rooms will be connected to each other with a network. Data spaces will be merged into each other's, and we can communicate then between these sectors seamlessly. This is really, really brilliant, and we can see many opportunities. We have heard today something like the digital twin. This is only possible when we connect those sectors to each other. But that at the same time makes us quite vulnerable, because if these connections will be lost, that means our whole life is dependent on electricity, and we might imagine what will happen if we have, let's say, a total blackout in the energy sector. So we are very, let's say, vulnerable in that way, that we have to, let's say, build on a secure infrastructure for this digital world, which we expect in the future. And all our lives are increasingly dependent on access to, let's say, electrotechnology, digital services, and of course on a reliable data infrastructure. This is really essential. And yes, to, let's say, to safeguard that reliable infrastructure, we need, of course, standards, compatibility standards, safety standards for having a digital safe world in the future. And that is my message. We have a prosperous future when we count on electrotechnology, but we need, of course, international standards to safeguard our, let's say, digital and energy sector connections between the different applications. Thank you so far. Ready to answer some questions?
Yes. Thank you at first. Thank you for your presentation. Michael, I learned a lot. We all, yes, we work with smartphone, everything. Our world is digitalized, but we often forget that we need a special infrastructure therefore, and we need a database infrastructure and a standardized.
Safe, yes.
So thank you so much. To the audience, do you have questions to the presentation of Thomas and of Michael? At first, maybe to Michael. Do you have a remark or question? You can also ask in Japanese, please. We have a translator who will translate the question. If not, or maybe you can think about, I have one question to you, Michael. So, you talked about that we need internationally standardization. So how can the companies or individuals participate in this process or in this standardization?
Oh, that's quite easy. The organization I just presented today, it's a German standardization organization, but these type of organizations are in each country. So we have a network about standardization organizations all around the world. And we call it the delegation principle. That means if you are interested in participating into standardization work, you just have to go to your local standardization organization, and then they will delegate you to the International Standardization Organization, and you can participate in hundreds of working groups dealing with different technologies all around the world.
So thank you so much. So please take the chance.
So it's very inclusive.
You can participate. Maybe you can change also the things.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there a question to Thomas' part? We changed from an energy sector to the food sector. I have a question. No, look at me. I like food. I like good food. And I was listening to your interesting presentation. I saw, oh my God, a farmer, he has to know so many things. It's not a romantic picture of a farmer who's digging his field. So my question to you is, Thomas, when a farmer is using these different digital tools and technologies, which impact has this on the quality of food? You know, I like good food, not...
In the end of the day, the agriculture is all about producing a good food and healthy food for the population. So we are there to do that. Technology helps, for example, in different way, but one very obvious is we can ensure much tighter traceability process. So at least we know from where the food comes and how it goes through the processing before it ends on our plate. So that's the big advantage to use those technologies where we collect the data from the seed the whole the way through. This is also monitoring the value of nutrients which we have in the food, because I just will let you know that over the last 30 years, the science are clearly showing us that nutritional value of food, of raw materials, is decreasing. So why? Because we destroyed our soils, we dilapidated our soils, which were in the meantime lost their fertility value, and we have to rebuild the soils in order to produce, through increased fertility, to produce a better quality of food in the end of the day. So we are in this process. By healing the soil, we are helping the plants to have a better nutrition value. So through monitoring that, we also increase the quality of food as such. So in conclusion, not to go too long about that, but in conclusion, on every stage of the food production, we can now collect much more data, analyze them, and being able to monitor the whole process and reassure and build let's put it like that, build a better trust between the farmer, food processors, and in the end consumer.
So you give me hope that we as consumer can enjoy healthy food in future. So thank you, you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I know that Mona finally was coming, and I would like to ask you to step with me back to one thematical theme. Mona is talking about from a construction sector. Mona is from the University Birmingham in Dubai, from the United Arabian UAE. Sorry, I help you. Yes, because we have to go back because your presentation was planned. Okay. It's after. Here. This is the first. So thank you, Mona.
Good afternoon, everyone. As they say, we save the best for last, so thanks for staying behind. I will only take 5 minutes of your time, but I've traveled here from Dubai, where I currently live, to give you a short case study about some of the key challenges that construction sector workers face. Before I talk about this, the United Arab Emirates has made tremendous efforts. In fact, I don't know if anyone knows, but the first AI university was set up, a university dedicated for skills and upskilling. It's called the, as you can see here, Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. I believe this is the first university in the world that focuses only on artificial intelligence. If you ever visit the UAE as well, it's worth going to Masdar City, which is a big city dedicated to sustainability and looking at also the impact of AI. So despite all these tremendous efforts and projects, there are many, many challenges to be tackled. Of course, while these are specific to the UAE environment, some of the, let's say, hazards can be also relevant to other countries as well. So when it comes to the construction sector, I chose this sector because if anyone here has visited the UAE, you can't help but to notice construction on any, everywhere you go. The country is, constructing lots of projects as we speak. So the first challenge really is to do with working in the heat. And this is particularly, a big issue in the summer months. So imagine it's already challenging to work in a construction site, but when you have extreme heat and temperature, the government has actually banned work from 12 to 2 in the afternoon, where employees have to stop working because of the, very hot climate. So this really brings a lot of challenges for workers in the construction sector. And we hope there are many AI tools that I've seen around, like the jackets that have cooling systems and so on. But really it does cause a lot of stress, heat stress, and makes the working condition very unbearable for these construction workers. The second thing really is working from height. So the country has a love of high buildings. It's the taller the better, So 30, 40, high. So if you imagine these construction workers also have to work from heights. And so falling from heights is one of the key occupational hazards in the country. So again, with AI, and we hope that AI can really help with this big issue as well. The third point is night shift work. Well, I don't know if you knew this, but construction doesn't stop. It's 24 hours. So you have the morning shift employees, and then as they go home, the night shift workers actually come along. So construction takes place on a 24-hour basis. There's no stopping at night. So as you can imagine, working at night can also, cause a lot of injuries, hazards because of the lighting. And of course, there's an increase in hazards and falls and slips and trips and so on from the lighting as well. So this may be something, maybe some of you didn't know about this, but yes, it's 24 hours. And if you live next to a construction site, good luck, because sleeping is going to be very difficult. It doesn't stop. And the last one is really something we discussed on the panel here, which is the multi-skilled, multilingual and multicultural workforce. So on a construction site, you can see employees coming from different countries up, nothing surprising to see 35 different nationalities, cultures, languages. There's construction workers coming from India, China, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, you name it, many, many different languages, cultures. And if you're a safety trainer, you face this extra layer of challenges in trying to communicate to these people. So actually, I've talked to some of these managers to see how do you overcome this? And one of the things they use is actually role-playing. So they come on a stage like this and they role-play how safety should look like. They do role-plays. They use a lot of images as well because of the language issue. They can't find every translator to come on site and explain. So these are some of the ways they use role plays, lots of images to try and get that message across. So talking to some of the construction managers and engineers, I've interviewed some of them to be ready for this presentation. And these are some of the tools that are already being used in the country. The most, let's say, popular ones, as you can see here, like wearable technology is being used, smart helmets that can detect hazards, and so on, AI fatigue detection, and video analytics. These are some of the popular ones being used in the country. And of course, they're being experimenting with many more as well as we speak. Like all this technology, nothing comes without any challenges. So, of course, we talk a little bit about the key challenges here being, of course, costly is the key thing. We talk about privacy issues. So from the smile on your face to the headache in your head, everything is monitored by your manager. They can see everything about you, your weight, your every measurement, okay? So again, there's privacy issues that may make these employees very stressed and uncomfortable. So that's also another challenge. And then the skills, the training as well. So my wrap up on this really is if we want to have a safer tomorrow, one of our panelists also talked something very important about responsible AI as well. So making sure that we encourage communication, participation. We encourage, we reinforce that, all this data is going to be used responsibly. We have to train and reassure these people as well so that they feel comfortable. And at any point, if any employee is not comfortable with wearing the equipment, this should not be forced upon them. So I would encourage you to welcome Dubai, come and visit, okay? You'll probably notice all the construction going around and you might understand why I chose to talk about this sector. So it's a very interesting contrast with the other sectors we've had, agriculture, farming, and construction. And that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you around. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Mona, for your presentation and to talk about the chances, but also the challenges AI offers in the construction sector in the UAE. But I recognize many chances, but also challenges or risks in Germany. And I think we all know the situation in the construction site. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have a question to Mona or remark to her presentation? Yeah. If not,
definitely grab me as I walk around.
If not, she's here, she's around, you can ask her after. So thank you so much, Mona, for your presentation. And I would now like to welcome our last speaker, Professor Takanori Mishiba from the Kinder University in Japan. And I'm really happy to hear now a little bit about the role of law and policies in prevention in the digital era, because in the session in the morning we heard that it's quite important to have a right framework so that we all also get protected. And he is now our expert to talk about.
I see. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much for inviting to this important event. Even with the same AI, its use and the perception differ depending on the country and the culture. With those reports as references, our research, those reports means HSEs, EU OSHAs, and something like that. Our research group has conducted a social survey on AI use, perceived OSH risks, and response strategies among Japanese workers in Japan. Following is a preliminary report of the findings. About 10% of respondents indicated they knew almost nothing about AI. About 20% reported using AI in their work. The most common use was to improve operational efficiency. However, since there is no clear definition of what constitutes AI, it is possible that some are using it without being aware of it. Respondents who were more deeply involved with AI, such as those involved in decision-making for its introduction to companies, tended to perceive higher levels of OSH risk associated with AI. At the same time, these respondents were more likely to believe that AI had a positive effect on physical and mental health. Notably, they recognized serious risks related to the opacity, black box nature of AI decision-making, and the potential dulling of human OSH instincts when over-relying on AI. The more involved our respondents were with AI, the less they tended to trust it, and the more likely they were to insist on human verification of AI decisions. They also showed stronger demands for transparency in AI's decision-making processes, greater unease with delegating risk assessments to AI, and a stronger awareness of the importance of regular updates to AI systems. Even among those deeply involved with AI, few expressed concern that AI would increase psychosocial risks or invade privacy through surveillance. On the contrary, many saw positive effects, such as AI serving as a consultation partner or reducing work burden. Many also believe that AI could help assess risks related to fatigue and stress. Regarding and trusting AI with automated driving systems, many respondents with workplace AI usage experience responded yes, perhaps due to optimism about future applications. However, among those who had been involved in AI introduction decisions, fear responded yes, likely reflecting greater knowledge and a stronger sense of responsibility. When asked about heavily delegating HR human resource-related decisions to AI, even among those with strong involvement in AI, respondents were evenly split between yes and no. In terms of OSH risk management, respondents emphasized the importance of A, preparing protocols for AI malfunction, B, defining responsibilities and rules among stakeholders, C, conducting trial tests before introducing AI into the workplace, D, cooperating with OSH professionals, and E, providing education about AI to workers. However, they also noted that sufficient training had not been provided. Many respondents expressed the need for clear rules to determine responsibility in the event of an AI-related occupational accident. Among those with AI introduction experience, responsibility was most frequently attributed to, first, on-site supervisors, second, data providers, third, decision makers, and fourth, programmers. Over half of these respondents agree that legal accountability for explaining AI decision processes should be established, and many believe that programmers and training data providers should bear responsibility. If I were to make just one point, it would be that even if there are limits to the safety margins of AI, we should maintain proportionate regulation and expand the potential use of AI for safety and health purposes. Thank you very much for listening.
Yes, thank you so much, Professor Mishiba. Has any one of you a question to him? You know, we talk about that the legal framework is really very important. And maybe you have some question or remark to his presentation.
Here.
Okay.
I am Ashok from BCSP, Board of Certified Safety Professionals. This is a good survey conducted on this AI, the global buzz we call it. Who are the survey respondents? How many are there? Who are the survey respondents? What is the population of the survey?
1,000.
Okay.
1,000, is it common man or industry or?
That's ですね、AI ですね、common workman.
Okay.
Common workman who answered the questions. But I feel was very familiar with AI, especially the working with AI was fear. But the boom 1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Is there another question from your side? No? I was, when I heard that only 10% of respondents said that they knew almost nothing about AI, I thought about the situation in Germany. And I don't know what my German colleagues would say, but I'm sure that the number of Germans who know really nothing or only little of AI will be much higher. So maybe it has to do with a really advanced situation of AI in Japan, but I was really wondering. So I'm looking at the watch. It's 1 o'clock. I would like to thank you for your presentation. I would like to thank all our speakers for your very interesting presentations, and a big thank you to the audience. We come now to an end. If you have questions to the speakers, they are here. You can contact them personally. And I would now wish you very interesting days on this conference till Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much again.
Moderators モデレーターの皆様、スピーカーの皆様、ありがとうございました。Thank you very much, all presenters, moderators, and speakers.